I haven't, up to this point, told you about the Leonardo da Vinci, uh, the most beautiful ocean liner in the world at the time. We we came home from Europe on the Leonardo da Vinci. I was billed as a basically 10-day cruise from Genoa, Italy to New York. A friend of my dad's named Jay Kinahan sold it to us. He said, it's the most beautiful ship in the world, and they got like 3 pools. And to me in particular, he was saying, all you have to do is like raise your finger and say, boy, bring me a Coke. And he was basically right. It was a fabulous ship. Until we were in the middle of the South Atlantic. And our waiter, first class, by the way, I've been first class all the way. And he comes in and he removes our drinking glasses and pours water on the table. And we're, what? Why? And he says, we're in for a spot of rough weather. Oh, really? And he mentions something about a hurricane, which we learn about somewhat later in the day. Hurricane Beulah, who is like 135 miles an hour. And we're kind of in trouble. We didn't learn how much trouble until later in the day. What we were able to piece together later was that our captain, our Italian captain, thought that he would like nudge the front end of the hurricane and then duck it somehow. Which didn't work, because what happened was we like sailed right into the middle of the hurricane, 135 miles an hour, and we were like in very, very serious trouble. Initially, they told us to like stay in our cabins, and that didn't work because there was an old lady who got hit on the head by her telephone 3 times, just trying to stay in her cabin. And then they said, no, you all need to like come to the main lounge, where we congregated. And we could hear glassware crashing all through the ship. Every piece of glassware in the whole ship was like sliding, slashing, banging everywhere. And so we've got my dad and my mother and my sister and me sitting on the floor in the main lounge, and I am being obnoxious. Because I had actually like read and almost committed to memory A Night to Remember about the Titanic. I had also read and almost committed to memory the whole story of the Andrea Doria, which was the sister ship of the Leonardo da Vinci. So I knew all this stuff. And my dad finally said, Bobby, stop it. So now we get to the meat of the story, which is I go to the promenade windows just across the room from where my parents and my sister are sitting. And I am looking out the window as the ship heels over and over and over and over until it seems like we might actually be about to like capsize. And this is the part, this is the reason I've never actually like told this story. It's like, how can I possibly convey what it is like to look down into the pit, the abyss? It's like, the ship is like 40 foot waves. The ship is like all the way over. And there's the terrible sensation of it rolling over the way it was. And then there's the weight. The weight. Because you're like hanging there, looking into the abyss. Until finally it starts to come back. I was the only one, actually, it was like looking. Nobody else wanted to. Later on that day, when things started to get a little bit better, I took my sister by the hand, and we went exploring. And it was bad. I mean, it's like people like stretched out on couches, and like they had thrown up in their sleep and all this sort of stuff. And we finally made our way up to the boat deck, that Jay Kinahan had talked about, and here are my parents finally having cocktails. They had forgotten about us. They were having fun. I was like, okay. And I could watch the water sloshing in and out of the pools. And, well, it was an extraordinary event. And the thing that kind of puts a period on the end of it is when we got to New York finally, which we did a couple days later. And I am seeing this ship, which was the most beautiful ship in the world, and it's a complete wreck. Rusty, broken. I was like, oh my God, we nearly did die. We nearly did.